one of the other things that I was noticing last night, right, as I was watching people, because here's the thing, like I've always enjoyed watching people.
Yeah.
The problem is that then you look like a fucking creep, right? Like when you're watching people. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. But I was watching people yesterday, and it hit me last night that I'm fucking old, right? So let me let me explain to you why. So I'm sitting there watching these guys, right, who have like this like fucking sick tapered haircut, right? They have like really nice like, clothes, like they're dressed really nice. They have fresh kicks on, like some of them had like, fresh Jordans, other ones had like fresh Air Maxes, right? Like they were fresh, right?
Fresh out of the box.
Fresh out of the box. Yeah, fresh out of the box. So I'm sitting there looking at these dudes, right? And then I'm like, what fucking ass clowns these guys are, right? And then I took a step back and I'm like, I used to be that ass clown. Like that's how old I am. That I'm now hating on my younger self.
You're standing in line outside with 3,000 other people going, you ain't getting no pussy. It's a comedy show. What's wrong with
Exactly.
you?
Exactly. You see what I mean? You see what
If
I
you
mean?
didn't
So
bring
that
her with you, you ain't taking her home. It's fine.
right, exactly. Exactly. So like I was sitting there last night and I'm like analyzing all these people, and it hit me that I am fucking old. Like, and again, it like I think that that was the realest moment of me being old. Like, I don't really care like my age. I don't really care. Like, I mean, I care a little bit how my body feels, but right now, like, I can still blame it on the fact that I'm a complete fat ass and like I eat everything in sight. um,
I am
so
the shape of round. That solves my
right, right.
problems.
So that there's a logical reason for why I am this shape and why like my body aches. I get it, right? Like that
Yeah.
I don't really like blame age for that,
Yeah.
right? Like I blame my shitty eating habits. But
That's just
when I was
science.
looking at these folks, right? Like again, it's that moment that hit me and I was like, fuck, I am old. Because again, right, I'm sitting there and I'm judging what used to be me, right? And the problem is that like I'm sitting there judging them. So then it hit me, and I'm like, fuck, like, how many people looked at me back when I was in my 20s and was like, what a fucking dick that guy is, right? And like, they're also sitting at their home going, fuck, I'm old. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, that realization hit me, and it kind of scared me.
Well, so, and I think you hit on something that I've also experienced. So that's one of the things I couldn't agree with you more. When you are looking at that guy, I think it's the moment that you realize that they are so much younger, like that you have been around so much longer than they have.
Yeah, yeah,
That really starts it. Like it's that one moment, like, you know how you walk in, like, basically when we were younger, 21, 22, 23, you walk in a bar, everybody's the same age.
right.
Except for that one old dude in the corner who just figured it out
Right.
or is trying to relive it again.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I
yeah.
find that now I do the same thing where I'm looking at these fucking kids.
Right.
I'll just stand there with like an angry, like just shaking my head. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like okay, so let me and I think you summarized it really well right there by saying that like you come to the realization that you've been around longer than they have, right?
right.
And I think you're right. I think that that's what made me feel old yesterday. Not that I'm against being old because I think it's
No,
fucking awesome. Um
I am
but
literally
like, from that perspective, I think you're right that like I end up looking at it and I go, fuck, I've been around longer. I know more than these guys. And here's the thing, like,
and you lose that age association where you're
yeah,
like
yeah,
at one point in your life, you walk in and you stand next to that guy, and whether you're dressed the same or not, you're like, oh, we're the same, right?
right,
You know,
right.
we're close in age. And now
Yes,
you look at those guys and you're like, fuck, he's like
right,
20 years younger than me.
right, right. Like, okay, like let me give you another example,
He
right?
was
So like,
born in the 2000s, folks.
yeah, right. Let me give you another example, right? Like, so I've seen people where like younger people, right? And I'm talking about in their 20s,
Yeah.
right? Where like I've gone to the grocery store, right? Like on a random day, right? Let's say a Saturday. And then you see a 20-year-old in there, right? And he's wearing leisure clothes, but all his shit match, right? Like he's still rocking Crocs, right? But the
Right. But their
Crocs are
color
like,
match.
oh yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like they're like fresh. The hat matches, like
Right.
even their mask matches their
Right.
outfit,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Okay. Then there's me, right? Who's got like one black Croc, a red one because that's the only one I could find, right? A pair of old beat up basketball shorts, right? I'm still rocking a tank top, and I
Right.
just so happen to be presentable by putting a hoodie on. Like that's me, right? My hair's not done, right? So then I
Right.
look at it, and then like I sit there and I look at this young person, right? And then I go, why the fuck did you need to dress up to come grocery shopping? Like that's what
Right.
chaps my ass. Like why?
Well, and I also think the other part to that is I find that I prioritize things differently as time goes on, and it's like you had enough time to think about that.
See?
Like,
Yes. Exactly.
like, dude, I woke up with 5 minutes to spare. Like, if anything, I'm less responsible than you are.
Right. Exactly. You see what I mean though, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
so like
Like, dude,
that
that's a lot of effort for what?
yes. Yes.
Well,
Exactly.
and I
But
think
but you know what's funny is that I used to be that guy.
Well, and I also ask myself though, both of us have been in very long-term relationships. I wonder how much that really has an effect on it.
That could actually.
Because I'll be honest with you, I think that I try to it's been so long that it's almost hard for me to imagine or think about, but like
Yeah.
every time you left the house was an opportunity that you might find
Oh, I
chick.
see where you're going. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Like
As a young dude.
you
Or
may
like
get
whatever
you may
you're
get some ass.
into, but every time you take a step out that door, it's a possibility.
Right.
You got to
That
look your
makes sense.
best.
That makes sense actually. But you know
But I
what? Like
think,
that also makes it even more ridiculous because because like the
but
fact that
I
you're
have to
waking
say that it makes me feel a little bit better because, like, hey, we're not going to talk about the fact that it's age. We're going to say that it's our relationship status that has pushed us in that direction.
hey,
And
I'm
then,
with that.
but I also kind of a follow up or a tag along to what we talked about back on our last episode was like I'm embracing that, not giving a shit.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
You
I'm
know,
100% with you. And like I think you're right. I think that back in those days, I think maybe we took it as an opportunity to go, okay, well, I may, you know what, I may be able to get a phone number, right?
I might be able to.
I might be able to. Now, like, think about this for a second, right? Like, think about how ridiculous that is. That ridiculous statement where you're like, I'm gonna go
I
and
got to go to
fucking
7-Eleven.
yeah, right. Like I'm gonna I'm gonna go get some tomatoes, some avocado, and maybe a piece of ass. I don't know. Right? Like, think about how, like, as a 20-year-old, you thought about it that way. Like, that's ridiculous.
It's like, yo, put that stuff we used to eat back in the day. Yeah, put that on the grocery list. Come on, it'll be fun.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
that
no,
could be
and
your
like
punchline when you go to the grocery store. Ask the girl if they have that stuff we used to eat back in the day. Like, no, you don't have it here. Do you have some at your house? We might be able to make it happen. I don't know.
right. And now I go to the grocery store, right? And then the interaction that I get is is the cashier just going like, "Sir, are you okay?" Like, your Crocs don't match right now, right? Like that's the conversation that I get now. So